Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Last time around, The Journey's End. We met with Frieren and her adventuring gang of 10 years. We had, was it Willem? No, Himmel. Mix that up. Himmel, Hyder, and the Troll. Excuse me. They finished their 10-year quest. Then 50 years later, they all met up again for a meteor shower, upon which Himmel, yes, Himmel died afterwards. And Frieren realized that she just doesn't know enough about humans, and she feels remorse for not getting to know Himmel. And so she wants to learn more about humans. 20 years later, she encounters Hyder again, and a young girl he has adopted, basically, named Fern. And Hyder wants to either achieve immortality or at least get a few more years on his life, because he doesn't want to die. And Frieren is going to help him with that. And she's also going to give Fern a bit of tutoring. And that's pretty much where we left off. So, yeah. That's pretty much that. Like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Frieren. Here we go. Yeah, this is exactly what I need now. Like, let me just paint you a little picture. Just before this, I recorded the last episode of Kaguya, which was so hype and so stressful, and I was losing my mind during the discussion. So this was like perfect, the perfect thing to calm down and relax. Man, I freaking love the vibe of this show, man. It's just so nice and calm. You want to freaking live in this world, like, immediately, man. Man, I just want to, I want to go on an adventure. I want to go on an adventure around this world. It's so cool. Oh, that was a lot. Actually, this episode, I'm going to be honest with you, has the most notes I've written all week. I'm not done yet because I still got to record The Sopranos, but it's a little silly. It's a little silly that this is the show. Like, I'm watching Doctor Who and Vinland Saga and everything, but no, Frieren is the one where it's like, I gotta write this stuff down, man. You have to live for them. Oh boy. I mean, that was something we had recently on Demon Slayer. You know, it's like yeah, you know, you've gone through this loss, but but just because you have doesn't mean, you know, you should give up. You should lose yourself. Why is my hair nodding so much recently? The hell? Probably just because I've let it grow really long. Anyway, But if there's something you can hold on to, you need to live. And you know, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna call myself out and shame myself. Man, I thought Hyder had ulterior motives. I really thought that, you know? I thought at the end of last episode, I was like, what's he doing? Why is he wanting immortality and stuff? But, man, I was a fool. That ain't it. He just, even though he knew there was no spell to grant immortality or extra years. I mean, A, he had to try, but B, it was to help Frieren, B, help Fern. So So I like that he basically used the opportunity so that Frieren would grow closer to Fern and, basically get her to the point where she wouldn't be a hindrance to Frieren. She'd be able to come with her. And yeah, and at the same time, to make sure that Fern would be okay, She's not just, she's not just this, ball and chain on Frieren's hip, She can stand together, She can stand together and apart. So, and it's a freaking thing, man. That is like, it's like you have to develop some sort of skill to show that you'll be okay. It's like, man, I don't need this to get real. But isn't that what every person has to go through? Even if even if you don't have anyone that you have to prove this to, you kind of have to prove it to yourself, or the American government or someone. You have to prove that you can stand on your own and be okay, You gotta have something. And for Fern, it's magic. Like with Frieren, it's magic. It didn't have to be magic, but it's what she chose. And I like, even like driving home, that it's like, no, Hyder has no ulterior motives. He's not a bad guy or anything. It's like, I like that moment of, why did he save Fern? Because that's what Himmel would do, That is exactly what Himmel would do. And we also got a little bit of, why does Frieren collect spells? I like that it is just kind of a hobby, Even if it does have this sort of sentimental value to it now, it's like, it's just a hobby, And it's true, it's like, she is probably incredibly powerful and can, she's probably incredibly powerful and could, stop an army with her magic, but she just doesn't, She hadn't, that's just not her vibe. That's not how she lives. She's not a hero, Himmel was a hero. She just, it's not even that she loves magic. She's just good at it. She just uses it. It's a hobby to her. It's something she likes, It's what she chose. So, now she goes around and collects all these spells. And I like that. I think that's such an interesting thing, honestly, I don't want to say there's not a plot, because there is, obviously, with, Frieren learning more about human interactions, which leads her to, taking on Fern as an apprentice, and now in this episode going off together after Hyder's death, But I will say, it's like, I like that. I don't know, how do I phrase this? That it's like, there's not really a driving conflict per se. In a sense of there's not a conflict, in the actual definition of that word, there is driving force, why she goes on, why she's doing what she's doing, and why Fern's doing what she's doing. But, I don't know, there's just not conflict. I don't know how to describe it, and I think I've lost my train of thought anyway, so. But it's just good. It's just nice. It's just, it's so relaxing, man. Seriously, if I don't know, I feel like you could just, put on an episode of Frieren and, fall asleep. And not in a way of, oh, it's so boring that it's putting me to sleep. But no, it's so relaxing. Just this entire episode was so relaxing, It's ridiculous. And I and obviously I like that, I like this freaking, this beautiful view of nature. Nature can definitely be beautiful, but it's it's just interesting, seeing the rats, the seed rats, and, just seeing Fern sort of take them and then put them outside, and they follow the seed rats, which brings them back to where they were, which it lets them find the blue moonweed. So it's like that's all good, and that's this beautiful naturistic thing, which I don't even think that's a word, but here we are. But then I also think in the back of my head, yeah, but nature can kind of suck sometimes, i.e. the squirrels that keep running along my back fence and keep like burying peanuts that some idiot in the neighborhood is feeding them. I don't know why. Like, we got a lot of squirrels in the neighborhood, and someone feeds them peanuts. They're the dumbest motherfuckers ever. But anyway, they get these peanuts and they bury them in my backyard. You know what I have? A dog. In fact, there's a lot of dogs around the neighborhood. Mine is a beagle. They're specifically made to hunt. Now, granted, I'm not a hunter. No one in my family is a hunter. We're not taking this dog out on hunts. But he's got a good nose. And so he goes and he picks up this scent and he hollers to high heaven that when he picks up a scent, and he goes and he gets a peanut and he eats it. And I just think to myself, these dumb fucking squirrels, And sometimes they'll just sit in the tree and they're chattering at him. And he just exhausts himself trying to get to them. And I'm just like, these fucking squirrels, man. But then again, maybe it's a difference of being out in nature, and especially in a very, I'm going to use the fake word again, naturistic world like they're in, versus being in suburbia where I am, where I'm just like, get these fucking squirrels out of here, So, and whoever's feeding the squirrels, fuck you. Anyway. Like, don't feed the squirrels. They're animals. They can feed themselves. They're wild animals. They know how to feed themselves. They don't need your help. All you're doing is putting peanuts in my yard. Anywho, nature is beautiful. I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyway, but yeah, this show's so nice. It's so relaxing. It's so nice and relaxing, and I just want to live in this world, man. I just want to live in this world. If I ever get isekai'd, I want to be in Frieren world or Pokemon world. Pokemon's another good one. Like, in 90s Pokemon specifically. That's a whole other topic for another time. But, like, this is definitely going on the list of places I would want to be isekai'd to, Anyway. But yeah, and I like the whole thing of, like, magic was just magic to Frieren, But because of Himmel, who I don't know, just like hyped up her magic and stuff. Like, he was so amazed by her magic that she now has a deeper appreciation for it. Thus, she collects these spells, So, and in a similar way to Fern with Hyder. It's just like it's just a thing to them, but because of others, they see it and they can see it in a different light, And I do like, because it's like, they show so much great stuff about Himmel, but I do like that it's like, no, he's not quite the wholesome Captain America guy. I mean, he is. He's a wholesome dude, and he's an incredible hero. He's also a little vain, like when they were coming up with the statue, it's like, what'd she say? It took 18 hours for him to decide on a relatively simple pose for a statue, And I like he's just like on the table and stuff. You can barely hear Frieren in that scene. Just, I'm starving. It's just so good. It's just so good, man. And I like how, Fern has to kind of put her foot down on how long it's taking them. I mean, they spent 6 months trying to find this friggin' flower, And it's like, they can't, at the very least, she can't spend years and years just looking for one flower. She didn't have that kind of time like Frieren, So, I like that Frieren's like, yes, we will be done soon. We will be done very soon, trust me. But I am going to manage my time differently now. So I like that, she has to consider Fern now. So, and then lucky them, it was from that and the seed rats that they were able to find the flower and really spruce up Himmel's statue. So yeah, it's really good. It's just really good stuff, man. And now with Himmel and Heider, it's just like, man, shit's so good. This is such a good show, man. I love it immediately. But yeah, that is pretty much it. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Frieren reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. You can also, there's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.